Hello, everyone. My name is Allison Diehl, and I'll be presenting on my capstone titled MATRILINEAL. An overview of my capstone project is I wanted to focus on the theory of object ontology when paired with motherhood. I have 3 short stories in my entire collection. The first short story titled Ava, the second titled The Chair, and the third titled Audrey. I follow 3 generations of mothers in one family, and they're all bound together through the creation and destruction of one chair. I started the piece as flash fiction, emulating stories like Past Hurts by Hilary Leftwich and Eveline by James Joyce. I then moved into longer prose as I revised my writing, emulating pieces like Mothers from Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado, emulating excerpts from A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. I was also deeply inspired by the themes in Elena Ferrante's The Lost Daughter, as well as the film adaptation created by Maggie Gyllenhaal. Finally, this entire piece was inspired from my reading of Forms by Caroline Levine and her understanding of affordances of objects. Here's an early family tree during the writing of my capstone. It's rather inaccurate now, as I've moved in a different direction for some of my characters, but it was extremely helpful for me to outline as I was working on my writing. So if you'd like to pause here and look closer, feel free. An excerpt from Ava. She moves backward to push the chair forward. The chair slightly rocked away and fell back every time she reached for the rattan, as if playing tag. She wondered how it felt to move but go absolutely nowhere. I'd play games too, she thought. Over and under, over and under, over and under, over and under. The chair sat empty and her hands weaving with the strongest force the structure had felt. She couldn't wait for it to hold her body. Pulling tight around the left side of the base and then the right, the back of the chair stands wide-chested, meeting her intentions. She widens the back upholstered basket weave, building the chair how her father wanted. Her hands meet the base of the rocker, working until they are covered in rain. Taking the knife at her side amid a storm, she carved a subtle AD into the bottom of the rocker, knowing it will wear away with time. Open skies wash the leftover red stain from the ground. An excerpt from The Chair. Her hands, the ones that finished me, left burn marks and fingernails. Late at night, as her daughter got older, she would stay up and sit on the porch, writing furiously in a journal, waiting, or just moving back and forth for relief. I formed to her humid body. Now I watch the birds land in her yard, reaching underground for working earthworms who are still housed despite the rain, who are still alive unlike the corpses caught in sunlight and fried on the road. All the lamps are turned off, asleep standing up. It's strange to know she left me here, but I'm okay with being a gift. Hydrangeas bloom from the bush she planted the summer after making me and 2 weeks before having her baby. The leaves of each flower bleed from blue to red when the neighborhood cat leaves peace offering buried under the bush, a sacrifice breeding new life. An excerpt from Audrey. Detangling the holiday lights, I reach for the ceiling of the porch so the wire can lay there. Even my toes don't bring me enough reach. Propping the porch rocker against the banister of the porch, I pray my neighbors aren't watching. Right foot, then left, the soles of my boots press against the woven chair, and together we are the perfect height. Stringing the lights against the rusted finishing nails, something starts to crack. In less than a second or two, my foot plunges through the chair. The chair my great-grandfather started, my grandmother finished, and my mother fixed after destroyed in a controlled rage. Slowly wiggling my boot out with an infant's hand still pulling my mouth, piles of paper explode from the chair. Thank you for listening.